wall, I get knocked down, I get back up, get up and go, I stay ready for more. Go to the total, I level the score. Never gon' quit. Heard you seen some, but you never seen this. Bet on myself 8 times, no trick, trust. Give me the loot. See now we going high stakes. This ain't clickbait. This a risk take. This no mistake. I was born to do it. I was born for music. I just get into it. I can't get influenced when I'm near influence. No genre music. We go rap back to pop, pop back to rap. Country on the track. I was once broke. I was down bad. Swear I'm never going back. I'm from upstate, where we see a little bit of this and some of that. Little city and some sticks. Watch me put it on the map.
For Amgen, they're just announcing it. One trial has met primary endpoint of overall survival.
The reason I taxed was not because they needed me. Got all of mine equally. I see what they need from me. Blood, sweat, and tears from the frequency. Now you believe in me. Cheers for me. Give me the loot. Might lose some battles, but winning the war. I get knocked down, I get back up, get up and go, I stay ready for more. Go to the total, I level the score. Never gon' quit. Heard you seen some, but you never seen this. Bet on myself 8 times, no trick, trust. Give me the loot. Word on my palm at the top of the game. Still unashamed, no one to blame. Took all the L's and I rose from the pain. Can't have the sun without seeing the rain. And it rained down when the rain came. See the time change, rolling plain Jane. You and me are not the same, stop saying things. Yeah, they talk, I don't say a lot. I just walk, so I'm moving loud. Really keep it low key, I don't like crowds. Really keep it OG, I don't like clowns. Really keep it just me, I'm the best out. I don't try to keep up, I don't stress out. I don't cash no checks, cause the checks bounce. I don't trap out that, I'm the best out. And I did all of this with a pen and a pad. Shift up the tech, got the notes in the lab. Remember the days when I want what I had. Still want more, guess I'm stuck in the past. First to your last. Fast lane, chuck up the deuce when I pass. Give me the loot. Might lose some battles, but winning the war. I get knocked down, I get back up. Get up and go, I stay ready for more. Go to the total, I level the score. Never gon' quit. Heard you seen some, but you never seen this. Bet on myself 8 times, no trick, trust. Give me the loot. Might lose some battles, but winning the war. I get knocked down, I get back up. Get up and go, I stay ready for more. Go to the total, I level the score. Never gon' quit. Heard you seen some, but you never seen this. Bet on myself 8 times, no trick, trust. Give me the loot.
Good morning, everybody. How's everybody doing on this fantastic Monday? We're going to have a short week this week. Obviously, we got the 4th of July coming up on Friday. It's a big American holiday. We're 30 minutes before the bell. We're getting started a little bit early. I wanted to make sure I could...
burning the pain. You don't have nothing to say. This is how legends are made. I know I got what it takes. And I'm not popping the brakes.
I want to give myself at least enough time to or give us enough time to go through some things and look for a setup before the market actually opens. This way we can be ready to go. This way everybody can participate if they can participate. We do trade stocks. If you're new to the channel, welcome. If you're not, welcome back. We do trade stocks, options, altcoins, Bitcoin, futures, you name it, we trade it. If it moves, I should say, we trade it. We don't like trading stuff that does not move. If it's very boring and sideways, I mean, we'll throw on positions, but those are going to be time positions. If we're selling time, stuff like that. But no, we like to find stuff that moves. So on the watch today, we've got Bitcoin as of right now. We've got Hype USDT. We have Fartcoin because this thing moves. It's up, or I'm sorry, it is down 3.3% on the day. It is currently trying to make a fresh daily low. It just made a fresh daily low. Nothing really to liquidate. You're testing yesterday's midpoint. We've got LPT. This was posted on Twitter yesterday for a trade right here at this time when it was testing the March open. This was actually brought up to me during the members only live stream yesterday, right at the end of it. and everything was bullish yesterday, so it wasn't a great short, but everything else went. I mean, it is a short signal on the daily, monthly, yearly time frames. So we went ahead and decided to take the short because we had 2 long positions, one on Bitcoin, one on Fartcoin, and we wanted to, in a sense, hedge off some of that downside or upside risk. So we took the short here at the March open. This was posted on Twitter, and you had plenty of time because it actually didn't start to move away from the level that we shorted, until the new fresh daily open. Now, of course, it did have a spike up, and if you know the rules, you're supposed to wait while it's trading above the level. You want to kind of wait until it gets back under it, or at least starts to trade in the opposite direction. If you took the trade here at that time and you didn't have a stop above this last swing high over here, then you could have entered it with a dynamic risk position where you go ahead and take the short with a small position size. This way, if it starts to trade against you, it's not going to hurt as bad, and you can give it a little bit of time to see if it's going to keep trending in the wrong direction or if it's going to pull back into that level. It's such a big level that there usually is going to be some time before it actually gets going in the correct direction. There's so many games that are played in the marketplace. Clearly, I mean, you open, that's the open of the day right here. So you've been testing that level pretty much all day, and then 8 p.m. happens, which is a fresh daily open. You get a nice little spike up into there, and then it rolls right over. So, I mean, within 15 minutes of it spiking above your entry, you would have known that it was coming right back down. So you wouldn't have had to get too crazy. But yeah, the guy that even brought it up got stopped out. So that breaks my heart because I'm in it. I didn't get stopped out. I'm still in it. I took it yesterday around whatever time we ended the stream. So right here it is, the LPT. So there's my entry. I took it on this candle. This is a 4-hour time frame. I took it on that candle, and then clearly I suffered a little bit as it traded higher, and then I was able to sit through the pain, and here we are this morning. So that trade is up nicely today. We're trading with smaller account here because my whole goal for this channel is to teach people that do not know how to trade or are not successful at trading how to become successful at trading. Now, clearly, I'm not risking a lot of money here on these positions. You can see right here my full size. This is a real money account. That's the amount of money that I'm using on the trade. It is a quite expensive one though. When I took the trade yesterday, this was a couple dollars. So this has actually went up. I don't understand why. Maybe the funding rate. I mean, it's clearly the funding rate. I'm just saying the funding rate just doesn't add up. So I'm not exactly sure why it's that much, but it doesn't really matter because I'm right here. So, I mean, I have a complete and total 100% return on investment where it is currently. That's not bad. Not bad. It obviously will make a lot more if it starts to move. It's down 5% though. So there's that. And you can see right here, there is a lot of volume coming in down here. And then here are some other positions that I'm currently holding, all of them with a small position size, except Bitcoin. Bitcoin's a larger position because Bitcoin is a much slower.
Good morning, equity traders. The daily US equity open news is up in the headline feed and the research suite.
But as right now, I'm sitting on an unrealized gain of $399. And all of these trades were taken yesterday at noon. That's not a bad return on risk. So you don't need a whole lot of money in order to make money trading, especially in the alt space. You can literally get started with just a couple $100. There's a link in the description if you want to trade on the Weeks platform. It will save you 20% on fees if you use it. Make sure you only put an amount of money you are not afraid to lose on exchange. Just in case it's an offshore brokerage or an offshore exchange. So if they decide to not let you log in, your money is gone. There's nothing I can do to get it back. It's so risky trading on offshore exchanges. It used to be a lot riskier than it has been lately. I make withdrawals from this platform all the time. I never have any trouble getting my money off exchange. At any time, if I do, obviously I would let everybody know. I let everybody know when Bit started screwing me around a little bit. They didn't actually screw me around. They let us get our money off the platform. They just quit letting US citizens trade on their platform. But anyways, that's what we're doing. If you want to trade Bitcoin with options, if we take another Bitcoin position or whatever, you can do that. Here's one that was trading up really big last week. It does not have any volume at all. Let me see real quick what the volume is, and then I'll bring you back down to the monitor. BSW. We only want to trade things that have a lot of, well, it says it's got 4 million. Is that 24-hour volume? Yes. That is so weird. I guess there's just not much liquidity on this exchange that I'm looking at here, because intraday it looks like this. So that's typically not something that we want to trade when it looks like that, because it's not really moving. But according to my watch list, it says this thing is down 6%. So even though it looks like the 5-minute candles don't have much liquidity in them, they are moving. Something that is down 6%, that's good. That means it's if it moves, we can make money on it. And as far as option trades goes, stocks or options, I'm still holding the Pepsi trade, and I'm in a very, very small D Pro position, which is Dragonfly. I'm just giving you guys, just showing you where I stand as of right now. So Dragonfly is right here. It's basically a small cap play on drones. It's just a small cap play on drones. The best trade for the drone trade would probably be Archer, as they do have, here's D Pro right here. I bought this on this day when it pulled back here. Oh, sorry, down here. It pulled back really, really hard from like $4 down here. And I bought it on this day right here, the second red day. So I got in then, and it's up here now. So, but it's only 50 shares. Very small money. Tiny, tiny money. But the Pepsi trade, we're actually looking for it to rock and roll. Right there's Peps. I don't know if it's going to rock and roll today, but we are looking for this to go up. We got in it on Thursday of last week. It's not a scalp. It's a long-term hold. We bought right out here, 200 days, and we got the 140 strike. since we bought out so far in time, near-term price movements will increase or decrease the premiums, so you can still make money on the option even if it's not in the money, because there's so much time value left on the option. If you're trading options and you're using like 0 days or weeklies, then obviously if you sit in the trade for more than a couple days, even if it goes in your direction, you can still lose money because you're losing money on the theta decay. Going out further in time eliminates the theta decay. Well, it doesn't eliminate it completely, but it's very small. It's on a curve, right? It's on a curve. So your theta decay would look like this. If this was the graph, you could draw like a line here, a line here, and a line here. So obviously when you take it out here, it slowly starts to decay. The closer it gets to this out here, which is expiration, is when you start to see that really significant drop on theta. So as long as we're out here and all this, we're good to go. But it does still lose money every single day. And that's where we currently are. If you have a ticker that you want me to look at, please drop it in the comment or in the chat, and I will look at it. We'll analyze it, and if it's something we want to trade here in 15 minutes, or we usually try to give it a little bit of time, let the bell open, and then see if there's a setup, we'll trade it. I have all my accounts open and ready to go, so we're ready to go, ready to rock. We're just waiting on the bell. Good morning, everybody's. Good mornings. Mornings across the board. Not a whole lot of high event risk planned for today. Here is your calendar. It looks like nothing in the US is expected, but I will keep an eye on the news bot to make sure nothing crazy pops up. And we're rocking, full on rolling here. Yeah. All right. So let's go back over here and see what we're currently looking at on watch. So Fartcoin is the one that is pulling back for us today. Bitcoin is also pulling back for us today. Most everything is pulling back. Most alts are pulling back. Let's go take a look at Bitcoin dominance just to kind of give us an idea as to what's going on. So we can see Bitcoin dominance is up, which is typically not good for alts, right? So here's the open for the Bitcoin dominance of the day, and it is up. Now, I'm not sure if this is a tradable asset or not. I don't trade it. I don't think it is. I think it's just a calculation between the strength of Bitcoin versus all of the alts. So I don't think it's tradable, but you know, it is what it is. It just made a fresh daily high. So Bitcoin, we would expect, as long as dominance is trending higher on the day, we would expect altcoins to be less strong. So if there is any great short setup, then we would want to take the short. But if it's structured bullishly, then we want to look for the long. So let's go back to Fartcoin. It's actually down on the day, right? But it's actually structured bullish. So what we could be doing right now, as this is your weekly open, this white line up here, 1.1536, that's going to be your weekly open. It could just be setting the low of the week right now. Now, I don't know where it's going to turn or if it's going to turn. We have an old daily support way back here because you broke down right through here. You had an up day, you were down, and then you closed up, and then this broke down. So that would put this candle as the old support. It's really close to yesterday's open. right? That's Sunday's open. So you could mark Sunday's open as an objective level to watch. We're also testing the 618 retracement of last week's range. Oh, sorry. Of this weekly range. So we're still trading inside of this week's range here. This is going to be a 2-week. No, it isn't. What's going on here? Okay, so this swing high is calculated into that 2-week candle. All right, I see what's going on. So this is just the down week. I would say we'd probably, since today's the last day of June and the last day of Q2, I think it would probably be better to watch the fib on the whole monthly range instead of that one random week. Or we can leave it on that one random week, seeing how we are still trading inside of it. Let's just say that. We'll leave the fib on this week because this was a breakdown week. It was a down week. We have not turned this candle into a trap yet. So as of right now, the shorts, if they look at the weekly time frames, they're seeing this as a still valid short trade. As long as it's under the 786, which is this white line up here, also weekly res. So you have two confluences of a level to watch for shorts. The only thing that says you probably shouldn't short this yet is you're still above June's VWAP, the monthly volume weighted average price, which is a typical bullish signal. If you drop, or let's go ahead and see what we got on the RSI for the weekly, you are above the 50. So you are more structured bullish on the weekly time frame than you are bearish. Hence, you could be setting a weekly low right now. Depending on how bullish this week is going to be, you could be literally setting the weekly low today. That doesn't happen in my experience. That doesn't happen often, but it does happen where Monday morning sets the weekly low and then it just trends up for the rest of the week. It can absolutely happen. So you can, whatever bias you have, if you already have a predefined analysis or already have a trade idea situated. Obviously, I'm not trying to talk you out of your trade idea. I'm just trying to give you my analysis and tell you what I'm looking to do right now. Since we're bullish on the weekly and daily time frames, I am looking for a daily low to buy. Now, volume on the daily this is the volume delta. Cumulative volume delta. My mind's not working. I've been up since 3 a.m. Cumulative volume delta is structured neutral on the day, but if you get down intraday, it's very bearish. So this tells us that through today's price action, the majority of the volume that has been traded on the footprint chart has been bearish. All right. So that's good for long setups. It looks like you should be taking the short, and because of the way the volume delta is situated, and we would be taking the short if there was a short signal on the daily time frame. There isn't. There is a buy signal on the daily time frame. You can see that right here via the momentum oscillator. Could yesterday be a bull trap? Absolutely, and we'll know that if we take out yesterday's low. So, in a sense, intraday on Monday, with everything that we know on Fartcoin, the Fartster, it could be a short or a long. So it could be a very crowded trade today, right? Here's what I see intraday. I do not see any sell side momentum. This is not momentous to me. On Bitcoin, we do see momentum to the sell side, right? So on Bitcoin looks more like an intraday short to me, just looking at intraday price action. We don't go by intraday price action. If you're just looking at it though, it does look like a short because this looks like a heavy rejection. You only closed 1 hour above Sunday's swing high, and then it took you 4 hours to reject back into Sunday's range. And then only 2 hours after that, you dropped hard right before the London session opened. Big, strong drop. Clearly the point of control is down here because, well, since the London Open, it's been trading down here. But on an intraday basis, seeing how your intraday VWAP is up here, it does look like you would be looking to short Bitcoin today. But the daily and the weekly says different. Daily is super bullish. That means the bulls have control of Bitcoin on the daily time frame. So anybody that's big money, they're not looking at intraday price charts. I'm not talking about scalpers. I'm just talking about whatever. And also, if you look at just the line chart, let's just look at the line chart for a second here. And out on the monthly, this looks super bullish, very bullish. So I'm not into looking for the short on Bitcoin just because of its structure and the way it looks. I think we should be looking for longs. I could be wrong because I don't know what's going to happen. Now, with that being said, since I don't know what's going to happen, I have 2 shorts and 2 longs open up top, right here. I got 1 long there, 1 short, and then 1 long. So I'm kind of hedging my bet today because we're getting a mixed signal intraday. It usually is a mixed signal. It usually does work like this. So this is why we have to use stops. If you look at the 4-hour time frame, this looks like a short. You just broke below support on a closing basis, and now you're looking like you may be potentially just retesting the midpoint of this 4-hour drop candle. So if you want to short Fartcoin, if you think it is absolutely garbage and is going to zero, then you would be looking for shorts around 1.1357 or as high as 1.1419, which would be your intraday VWAP, VWAP. But you're still above June, and June is ending out the day. So, I mean, we could definitely be seeing end of quarter rotations, capital rotations, end of quarter capital rotations. We could be seeing end of month rotations. Today could be a very sideways choppy day. Today could be a very volatile day because we also know, since it is a shortened week, liquidity will be thin. A lot of people take the whole week off. They don't just take the day off, right? They take the whole week off. But July is typically one of the best weeks or one of the best days. Months to trade in the S&P. I was reading something at the same time I'm trying to talk. July is usually one of the best months for the S&P 500 as far as for advancement. It usually does pretty good during July. They actually call it the midsummer rally or the mid-Christmas rally, summer Christmas rally. My head is just gone. Yeah, spit it out, bro. But yeah, I don't want to short Fartcoin. I actually have a long on, but this intraday price action does look like a short. So we'll go from there as the day progresses. We got 1 minute until the bell. Bitcoin intraday looks like a short. Both of these have this one, in my opinion. LPT, if you want a short, this one is the short. This one fits the criteria for a short across the board. You're negative on the year. You're negative on the month.
And coming up next on the calendar, we are expecting US Treasury Secretary Besson in about 10 minutes to be interviewed on Bloomberg TV.
Negative on the month, negative on the year. Weekly momentum is bearish. I don't daily momentum is bearish thanks to yesterday's close.
On crude oil, the US crude oil expected to average $64.50.
So if you do want to take a short on one of these alts, because we do have intraday volatility or an intraday move lower here that suggests we could be going lower, then I think your best bet to short would be LPTUSD around 6.409 if you get up there. The market just opened, so maybe it stalls out here or here. If it stalls out here or here, then you can look for a short entry there. But let's give it a minute. Let's give it a minute here. This is going to be the open or your 9:30 open here. $9:30, this is the 4-hour high. Ooh, I just had deja vu. Can't type, can't talk, can't do shit today. That's all right. We can make money. I know what I'm looking for, right? I'm going to watch this for a potential short set. Fartcoin traded right up in the hourly res. LPT's above hourly res. So, I mean, and there's the 618 right there. So you do have a little bit of something here to watch on the near term for Fartcoin if you want. But like I said, I would rather you shorted something that has an actual sell signal on the daily time frame. Adrian says IBRX. Is that a stock or is that an alt? It's on the NASDAQ. IBRX is barely bullish on the year. It's testing June's open right now. Testing it right now as we speak. You have bearish momentum on the week. Yeah, bearish momentum on the day. So since you're so close to the yearly open, I would not be bearish. I definitely would not be bearish because you're above the yearly opening range here, but at least as far as technical signals go, the bears do have control of the asset on the weekly and daily time frame. That can change. Obviously, that can change today. The overall market is what? The overall market gapped up and is trading lower. And ADD opened at 827 and is now down to 424. So we are seeing a little bit of pre-market or at the bell weakness here. So this is your daily time frame for the SPX. There's your gap up. We want the ES. We don't want that. We want ES. So we are up on the day on ES. We are up on the day. We are breaking below the intraday VWAP. Here's your NQ breaking below the intraday VWAP. Down here we have Tesla, Apple, Microsoft, Nvidia. Those are the three biggest companies in both the NQ and ES. And all three of those are down, or they're making a low of the day right now. And then the VIX is at the yearly open. Right here is your VIX. You are a doji on the year open. So you're getting that spike. You can see how the year open reacted on Friday. I wouldn't be quick to take the long here just yet. because the VIX could absolutely, not on the VIX, but like on, if you're looking for a long on say ES or NQ, I would say you're probably going to liquidate Friday's high on the VIX. I don't understand why we got a spike on the VIX. I haven't seen any news telling me why. But I mean, this looks okay. I don't know if you want to day trade this, a scalp. You didn't say, you just typed in the ticker. It looks like it's doing okay, but the bears are in control. So I maybe could buy it at 258 if it holds. Only if it holds. We've got BMNR popping up on the Momo scanners. It does not look like a low float. Or yeah, it does. So I don't know what's going on with this. So let's pull up let's pull up this. $1.98 million shares outstanding. It is a low float. So big gap up. And is this popping up on everybody's scanners here? Yeah, it's in third place. BBAI is in first place. This is on volume gainers. It's not up 20%, so it's not going to be on everybody. Not everybody's going to be trading that. This one is up 20%. This one's up 255%. This one is one everybody's going to be watching. So your momentum traders are pumping in right now. Right now. Because you just made a fresh high of day. You just made a fresh 5-minute high. And you took out the pre-market highs. So your momentum buyers are scalping in and out of this right now as we speak. I can't hear the music. Barely. That's okay. My volume might be just down. And rejection. It's looking like it's going to be a rejection. So the longs got destroyed. If they weren't fast enough. Yeah. All right, so we're back there. Let's go look at what we got going on our watch list. I'm not going to be scalping in and out of this. I would rather do it over here on these things. Lost it. All right, it looks like we're back. It dropped off there for a quick second. Once again, it's that damn thing. So we got Bitcoin dropping a little bit. We got hype giving us a little bit of a pump over here. Sorry about that. I know it dropped off. If that happens again, it'll probably lose it. It's not the internet connection, it's my wireless router. Do not have a clue what's going on with this thing. No, it's not. It's not. We can check the antenna. It's not. It wasn't the speed when I first went live. It's literally the antenna. The speed is good. We've got good speed. I should have restarted my PC before I went live. This happened to me last week. It's definitely you. It's definitely not me. I mean, it is me, not you. The antenna keeps going off and then coming back on. And when it does that, it literally disconnects the connection. And YouTube will shut the stream down if it stays like that for more than 5 or 10 seconds. So we'll keep an eye on it. We'll see. Fartcoin is trying to hold the open for the short. The 930 open. As Bitcoin is too. You open, dropped. You got heavier sell side volume coming in here. And then we'll look at volume by time. You can see you are seeing an influx of volume here, which is normal. This is what we expect to see at the open. S&P and NASDAQ still, coming off a little bit off of the lows. Let's go look at gold. Gold was a short. I did like it for a short today, but unfortunately it's already traded away from the level that I want to short it from. So if we get back up to 32.89 on the XAU, I will absolutely look to maybe buy a GLD put. Let's see if there is a level that we can put together with GLD. That way we don't have to short it based on the AU. We can short it on GLD. So we got the high monthly close up here on GLD. 303.60 on that. 303.77. So this one is the high month close right there. And we're trading under the high month close. I don't think we would tag the high month close today on GLD, but if it does, yeah, the daily setup for a sell, weekly setup not for the sell. Daily is. So the near term time frames show us the sell. The long-term time frame does not, which is usually how it goes, right? The near term always flags a sell before the long term. That's why we like to go by the daily more than the weekly. The weekly's for like more of a longer term bias. The daily can get you in trades quicker than the weekly can. Midpoint of last week's breakdown, it's going to be 306.28. Oh yeah, it does look like the high month close, 303.77. If you're trading above 303.77, you got to leave it alone because it could be wanting to go up there and close this gap. You have a gap here. It's a big gap. See how big this gap is? So if you're trading above 303.77, I don't love getting short because it could be trying to fill the gap. It could be going back up to test the midpoint of last week. You know what I mean? There's a lot of levels up here that it could be going to. But if it does fail at the 303.77 level, I could put on a put then. GLD puts move very fast. So make sure if you take that trade, if you get that test and fail, like if the stream fails or whatever, and you're still watching this throughout the day, excuse me, please do not short it unless it's under 303.77. I know it doesn't make sense to you. You're probably saying to yourself, well, I can get a better fill at 304. You could, but then the market is telling you that it isn't rejecting your level. It's literally telling you that it's doing the opposite. of rejecting your level. It's actually went through your level. We want to see the market tell us its hand. Show us what it's doing. Because it becomes a lot more objective. And that puts the probabilities on our side. Right? So yeah, we'll go with that. Well, we'll keep that on. I got an alert up there. I should put an alert lower. This way I know what's going on. Solana, nice little spike on Sol. It's up. It's bullish. You broke out of a trend line here. Let's get rid of that 100. I do not need that. Why is that even on? So we broke above the monthly VWAP on Solana. Broke above this trend line here. Okay, so it's not a super big trend line. It doesn't go back very far. It only goes back to here. So if it's going to be a trap, then it definitely needs to take out yesterday's low. It did not do that. It actually got right to it and rejected. On a spike on volume. That's what we want to see. So this is Sunday's low right here. You can see that this candle fell short of taking out Sunday's low. So moving forward on Solana, if you like Solana, if you want to trade Solana to the upside, this is the level it needs to hold. Right here. Needs to hold this. It's the midpoint of this candle. If it holds this on an hourly closing basis, you can buy 150.75. We would be targeting what? Let's see if the open of the day is a legitimate target. $8 per day. Oh man, I don't know if I would go for 8. I would probably target just shy of the open on the scalp. So right there. That's if this thing holds. If it's not going to hold, then there's no point to get long. Fartcoin is not. We're also seeing lower lows on ES and NQ, so this could be the short. What do I have on short? I'm short hype and I'm short LPT. I'm glad we took our profits off of Amazon. BSW is getting crushed. Damn, we should have shorted that one. Tesla's probably looking for this 2-week low down here at 314.74. If it does roll over today, I'm not interested in buying Tesla unless it rejects here. I want to see a rejection here at 314.74. A wick through it is okay. If price trades down here, then I want to see something like this. But if it just blasts through here and keeps going, then I'm not interested in buying it at all. Right? I'm not going to short it to try to target that. You can if you want. That's a $6 move on a Tesla a put option. That would be a couple $100 if it does go down there. as far as the daily is concerned, it's right now testing daily. It tested daily supply, so that would have been the setup, and you're under the 50. So the perfect trade on this would have been there. That's also Friday's opening price. So that would have been the good spot to short Tesla right here. Target 314.70. I would just say 314.85 or something like that. And Microsoft is above the open of the day, so it set daily lows and then got back above the open. Nvidia is tearing ass to the downside. Just flat cooking to the downside. Let's see what we look like on the daily. So we did break the all-time high on a volume, influx of volume, but it's not a big volume spike. I would much rather have seen a bigger volume spike than what we got to look to be a buyer there, right? At the all-time high. If the volume spike was a little bit bigger, I would like it a lot more, but it could hold at daily support. You have one right here. So I'm not interested in Nvidia until it at least gets there. There could be a little bit of struggle here, but I would just watch this one down here since they're so close to each other. That would also give you a liquidation on Friday's low. Fartcoin still rejecting the 930 open. Oh, these guys could be buying this. See the volume spike down here when you came into your 15-minute 200s? If it fails to start closing 15-minute candles below the low of this candle, then it could be going higher. But there's a volume spike here, but we don't know if this is buy volume or sell volume. It looks like it's buy volume for now, but that can change on the close. There's 12 seconds left. It doesn't look like it's going to, but it could. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Gonna have the bullish volume. I would say there's a lot of shorting it based on the 618 retracement and the 930. So these are, I mean, I don't like the short here because you just made a fresh low of day. You're down only 2% though. And we know Fartcoin can go down. We've seen Fartcoin trade at 10% days on the weekend. So there's still a potential move to the downside here on it. The volume spike is not nearly as big as I would like to see. But it's only a 4-day trading week. Check our LPT short. Looks like it is doing the same thing. See, this is big volume spike here, but the volume is slacking off. Ooh, what is this? So this is getting ready to cut loose probably. Since dominance is stronger today, We have to be careful because if Bitcoin cuts loose to the downside, it could also force alts lower. So what longs we have could get crushed. So LPT is pushing back up to 930. I think one could take a short there. Risk would probably be above this 4-hour high. Right, because if you get up in there, I mean, technically there's a 200 EMA on the 4-hour at the midpoint of this candle, so that would be a better place to short. I just don't know that you're going to get up there if Bitcoin cuts loose to the downside. Risk markets bouncing off of the daily lows. Apple just tagged 274 to 255. So if that 930 area holds, I think it could go lower. We're not seeing any momentous candles here, even though we're seeing the volume stack up. So it is slowly trending lower, but it's not giving us this. Let's go check our liquidity indicator. Big liquidity under price, so it does look like it's going down to make a fresh daily low. Should help the LPT short. BSW's already taken off, leave it alone. Are you looking to take a Tesla trade if we get the bounce off the 2-week low? Yeah, I'm looking to buy it because everything is structured pretty bullish right now. I obviously know that's not the best time to be a buyer, but yeah, I mean, technically, if it can hold this 2-week low on a daily closing basis, I like it higher. All right, you've got the daily 200 simple down here. You've got the daily 200 EMA down there. So by liquidating this 2-week, thank you, baby. Can you grab me a bottle of water? By liquidating this 2-week low, it should pull in enough buy side if it is going to go up, if it's going to continue to go up. But momentum on the daily isn't looking great. It's the weekly momentum that's got me still structured bullish here. The 21 weekly is right here. As long as price is closing weeklies above this yellow line, I like it longer term back to the upside. But here on the near term, my daily time frame is telling me I should be looking for shorts. That's why I said, like, if I had a Tesla pulled up on the monitor when it was testing daily supply, or if I had already looked at it pre-market, I would have been looking to short that there. That would have been the best trade to take. But you probably would not have been able to get filled you could have gotten filled. There was 2 minutes. You traded at 324.61 for 2 minutes. We tested it twice there. So we could have absolutely got filled on a short. And then profit target for me would have been low of day. Or the daily open, sorry, not low. This is your low of day, but just right here, the open. And you would have gotten filled. So it would have been a perfect scalp to the downside. And like I said earlier, that's a big move on Tesla options. That would be a few $100s there. Tesla is a volatile stock. It moves a lot. And we like trading things that move. SPX, not really getting anything going to the downside here. Big gap to fill on it also. This kind of price action on the open just pulls shorts in because they know they want to see that gap fill, right? They know it's going down there to fill that gap. We know that it doesn't have to. It does not have to do that. Or technically, I guess the gap is filled because you traded up to there Friday. So there is no gap. Yeah, gap's been filled. Gap's been filled, but people looking at this chart will still think that gap could fill. And it may, right? We don't know what it's going to do. 30-minute res. Oh, that's 5 minutes. Sorry. We don't have a 30-minute yet. So right now, the 5-minute high or 5-minute high close to beat on a close, 61.90. Fartcoin's rolling over. LPT struggling. Volume spike. Still not closing above this candle. And Bitcoin's still not breaking down on this bigger volume here. So there could be an iceberg order down here or something. I don't see an iceberg. But just because I don't see it does not mean it's there. Yeah. So the market's been open 30 minutes. Just made fresh lows on Apple. I'm assuming Bitcoin's going to make a fresh daily low at the very minimum and take out that liquidity to the downside. I think LPT would have been the best one, or is the best looking one for the short. Just a low of day, if it makes it down there, would give you a 1.73% move. Which is more than you can get on Bitcoin to take out the low of day because you're at the low of day, right? Same goes for Fartcoin. This is the low of day. It's kind of hard to short the low of day. I mean, people do it all the time. People short low of day breaks. I don't. But some people do. If I'm going to short a breakdown like we clearly have here on Fartcoin, then I'm looking for midpoint checks for the short or intraday VWAP retests. But like I said, on the daily and weekly time frame, this is bullish, not bearish. It doesn't mean it won't go lower. It just means I don't necessarily want to be positioned for it to go lower, because the daily is telling me that the momentum is to the upside, the buy side. And since I'm a trend trader, I like to be on the side of momentum. You can clearly see that you're not experiencing any downside momentum yet, and we're 30 minutes into the market open. Now, you could experience that momentum once it cuts loose. You could see that momentum kick in. But this is not momentous at all. It almost looks like it's being absorbed. This thing is making fresh lows. Damn, that would have been nice. It's down 9.61%. And just look how easy of a short that was based on... Oh, sorry. Ignore that. Ignore everything I just said. Everything I just said was a lie. That's not the intraday VWAP. There's the intraday VWAP. Now let's go back in and see where... We got to get rid of this one. So it would have been much higher. Last chance would have been 730 for the short on it. It looks disgusting. That liquidity is bad. Still waiting on to see if it can break above the 930 here. Use dynamic risk management, guys. Don't go in heavy this low. You know what I mean? You got to go in easy. This way, if it goes up and then starts to reject at a higher level, you can jump in again with another position. If you use 25% increments, so like say you trade with $200, then you want to go into the position, start the position with $50. You can jump in with the short at $50. And then if you get up to your secondary levels where you think it may reverse, you can go in with another 25 points or $25, another $50, and then you'll only be risking a half a position at that point. Well, it'll be down, so you'll be close to 1%, probably, depending on the leverage you're using and all that. But you get what I'm saying. It's much easier to deal with the intraday chaos, because this is chaotic. There's no analysis in the world that's going to tell you what it's going to do. You can just watch your levels and how price reacts to the levels. 930 level isn't a level. It's not a level that we really care about. It isn't a high time frame level. It's just where it was trading when 930 rolled around. Bitcoin just... Oh, the low day's down here. No, that's yesterday. You just made a fresh daily low on Bitcoin. Big volume. Here we go. Let's see what we do here. Notice this volume spike. We see downside continuation. I would not be a buyer. If it rejects, I would probably be a buyer. What's LPT doing now? Spiking to the upside. Hype's breaking down. That short's starting to make money. And let's see. The Bitcoin long that I had open just got stopped out, which is okay because I had those other two shorts to cover that. LPT is going up, but I do expect it to roll back over. And hype is dropping. So that's a big chunk of liquidity through there. Not much liquidity in there, but it's just one block. A Bitcoin can just slice right through that. I'm not sure if that's today's open. No, it's not. So we took out yesterday's low. All right, so yesterday, depending on what happens today, if we get downside continuation, I'm not expecting a move that large. But if it does, we could see it take out Friday's low. This is a gap fill on Bitcoin though, on the futures. right here. This is your CMEs, this gap. So you literally just filled the CME gap. Yep. Checking the midpoint right now. Also trading back up to intraday VWAP on S&Ps, intraday VWAP on NASDAQ. So if we wanted to take a short scalp here on the ES, we got to wait for this candle to close. So let's go ahead and maximize this. We can see this full size here. So we're going to let this candle close, because we definitely want to short this if it holds. Bitcoin is above the midpoint of the breakdown candle. So what I'll do on the ES short is I'll go out 7 days or 3 days, maybe 3 days. And I'll just buy an at the money put if it rejects this midpoint or this VWAP here. We got 1 minute, 29 seconds left on the close. Bitcoin is above the midpoint of that breakdown 5-minute candle, guys. That was like, see how this is much bigger than average volume? You can't imagine that all of that is sell side volume. It shows that it was all sell side volume on cumulative volume delta. You just took out that candle's high. 46 seconds left on the close. Man, I would much rather see S&P ES get up in here and close, make it look like it's going to break through it. It is going to roll over. Fartcoin has not taken me out yet. Look at Fartcoin. Boom. Maybe LPT ain't a short. Be careful with this. If you're already in the short, you got to be very careful now. Look at what Fartcoin's doing on aggressive volume here. Bitcoin is also not rejecting. I mean, it's rejecting yesterday's lows. We may be seeing a market reversal. It really sucks because it did go down and stop that long position out that I had. So obviously if it continues to go up, I'm going to be very mad, but I'm not going to chase it either. I'll wait for hourly support, guys. You know what I'm saying? I can wait for the hourly close. I can wait for the next hourly candle. That's how we do things. We don't have to rush into a position. This hourly doesn't look very good as far as like getting a support, but we could watch this 30-minute support right here. Okay, so look at the 30-minute breakdown candle here. Look at the volume. There's still 14 minutes left on this 30-minute candle, and we've already taken out this candle's volume. So whatever way this thing starts to go will be huge. Okay, on ES, what I'm seeing right now, this is generally about the time when the shorts are loading up right now. You can see how this candle keeps going up into it and then pulling back off of it. It's literally manipulating people's emotions, because each time it trades up to that and then it comes off real hard, it's making people think that it is rejecting. And it absolutely could be. All right, Fartcoin is still going up. We are seeing a slight rejection here on the ES. I might have missed that. I don't know yet. I don't love it. Nvidia is testing its intraday VWAP. I don't love the short when everything is bullish. See, that's the difference. If everything was bearish across the board today, not even just today, just like longer term, right? Then we attack these markets to the downside. You got to be very, very slow to get bearish in bullish markets. Because just like you can have shorts rip your face off if you're long, obviously longs can rip your face off if you're short. But we're pretty extended to the upside. Also, if you look at your VWAP here, we got 62, 40, 40, what? 42? That's a 10-point move from the VWAP to the bottom edge of the volatility band. I think it wants to put one up in it, above it. Like a close above. And then if it gets upside continuation from that close above, then I don't want to short it. So that's kind of what I was looking for, like a close up in here. And then the next candle or two open and then give us that drop if it's going to go lower. So I can set a limit sell on that, or just 62.42. Get this thing ready to go, because Bitcoin is kind of showing us a little bit of rejection here. What is LPT doing? LPT is starting to show us that rejection just shy of that 4-hour high. That's what we want to see for the continuation lower trade on LPT. This one is bearish on the daily, bearish on the weekly. If we like this one to the downside as long as it rejects. As long as it rejects. If it keeps putting in higher highs and higher closes on a 5-minute time frame, then I'm not loving the short. Okay, S&Ps are tearing. Nope, no they're not. Still playing around. What are we on here? This is a 15-minute. Damn it, I thought I was on the 5-minute. Let's go 1 day, 1 minute here, so I can see it a little better. I was on the wrong time frame. So from here to here is 10 points. It looks like I'm gonna miss that, but we got the LPT here. As long as it continues to reject, we'll be okay. See, Bitcoin, see this is the kind of stuff you got to be careful when you're looking to buy intraday reversals. Oh, wrong chart, sorry. Here. What was that? that big volume spike. Where did it go? I thought we were looking at yeah. I think the LPT short's gonna be good. S&P 500 just tagged targets to the downside. That sucks, man. I would have been on the 1 minute or the 5 minute chart. I thought I was on the 5 minute chart. I was on the 15 minute. That's much different. Well, I can go ahead and close this out because I'm not going to take it now. Bastard. Notice how it did. Let me see if this is full on 10 points. 42. 32. So this is 10 points down here. I take profits at 9 if it stops at 9. Nice volume spike on that lower push here, so might be seeing some downside continuation getting ready to come through. Looks like it on the 30 minute. Looks good on the 30 minute. Bitcoin looks real good on the 30 minute to the downside. Here's Bitcoin on the downside to the 30 minute downside looks real good for downside continuation. Fartcoin did get a big bullish volume spike here, but is rejecting. What's it rejecting? It's rejecting the intraday VWAP. It didn't tag it perfectly, but it's just right here. So just a little bit shy. I don't know why I got the moving average. I don't look at intraday moving averages, guys. If my moving averages is on the chart and it's lower than a 4-hour time frame, then I just forgot to turn them off. I do not care about moving averages, intraday moving averages. VIX is pushing up right now, making a fresh daily high. So we made Sunday a trap on Bitcoin. We've already got higher volume than we had yesterday, which is normal because Sunday is very thin. Good day, everyone, says Aaron. Good day, good day, good day. JP speaking on Tuesday, jolts and a few other news events. Maybe people just going flat before Tuesday. Could be. Today's the quarterly close, Mario, so a lot of people will be adjusting capital flows for sure. I'm holding 100-day calls on IBRX and they fluctuate from 0 to 250. Thanks for your thoughts on it. You're welcome. Yeah, guess we'll see how the day goes. Yeah, that's all we can do as traders. What our job is, it is not to predict price movements. It is 100% managing risk. That's what we do. We are not predicting downside moves or upside moves. We are predicting where we want to put on our risk. And we want to use technical signals to give us the signal. Oh, there it is. Yeah, we want to have a signal from the longer term bias, yearly, monthly, and then down into the daily, weeklies and daily. If the month is overall bearish, then we know that at least for the month, the bears are winning. They have the momentum on the weekly and daily time frames. Then we want to look for intraday shorts on bounces. Bounces back up into resistance. See, like Tesla, it's such a hard short to take because it's literally right. I mean, it could be down all day and then close up at the end of the day. But it's been here, right? For how many days? We started to trade away here, and then we came right back in here. So this is why I was saying I would have been able to short at daily supply targeting that 2-week low, because we closed Friday back under it. So we've lost whatever momentum the bulls had here, which wasn't much because it was sideways for many days. Then they got the momentum based on that news. And then what? I think the next day they lost 2 high ups in the office, and that caused all of that news to be reversed. So all of your bullish momentum reversed. That's what we call a trap. It's a bull trap. So if it is, we look for downside continuation off the bull trap. However, knowing that this 2-week low is here, also knowing that the weekly 200 exponential is right under price, or the daily 200 exponential is right under here, and then the weekly 21 is right in here as well. I don't want to hold a short from here. I'm not looking for like 300 or anything. I'm only looking for a liquidation under there. That's it. I could take profits, move my stop to break even, and if we get downside continuation, yay. But it's too close to a very good looking buy zone. And with the rest of the markets being structured bullish all week last week, it's hard to be a seller in a market like that. LPT, is it rolled over yet? Not yet. No, still pushing. Meanwhile, FART rejecting, but it's just now testing the 930 open. So we'll see if the buyers show up here or not. That LPT is not doing what I thought it was going to do. That's okay. Things very rarely ever do what we expect. Yeah, the point of control's down here. That sucks. That sucks. I would much rather see that up in here or up there. Because I shorted it up here yesterday. So all of this, I didn't take profits on it yet. It's literally sucking out my unrealized gains for the day. Oh, ES is right back up. Look at this. See that? It fell just short. So Bitcoin might be a buy here. Let's see. This is trickery right in here. Let's put a bid on Bitcoin. I'm gonna pull up my Bitcoin chart. I hate to do this, but with the ES doing that, what we got? We got us a 4-hour support right there. 107, 150 on limit. All right, I'm looking. What I'm gonna do real fast is, if Bitcoin liquidates this low again, I want to see what kind of a reaction it gets after that before I throw that limit buy up there. Also, ES could literally reject that VWAP again, but doesn't do that very often. doesn't mean it can't.
Top dollar be the bottom line. Bottom feeding dotted line. Turn your heart rate to a dotted line. Yeah, my zodiac probably
What the hell? Come on.
energy to win in my I'm feeling great. Got a date with destiny, focusing on my fate. I don't give a fuck what you rapping, you been a fake. Even if they ain't, it can't be, it won't be. Wanna see me fall, I can't go, I won't leave. Coming from the block with plain clothes and police.
Microsoft just put fresh daily lows in. Apple, Nvidia still up off the lows. And what's the VIX doing? VIX is broken out above the yearly opening range, but coming back in for a retest of it. So I think I'll take the opposite side of the trade. If this 5-minute candle does not close under this 5-minute candle over here on the ES. So I'm gonna buy the 62.35 strike. Oh, it's not the 65.35, it's the 62.35. What did I say? Oh, 62, sorry. 62.35 strike. Oh, it moves too fast. We'll see if we get filled on that. We'll leave it out there for a minute. That's the wrong one. Oh, that's why. It's already bouncing. All right, so I'm going to cancel that. And try to put it in again. $62.37. The Tesla's off the lows. Apple's off the lows. Microsoft is putting in fresh daily lows here. Nvidia's off the lows. We just closed the 30-minute candle on Bitcoin, and we closed below intraday support. I don't love that. It could be a trap, but I don't love that volume spike, because we got 2 volume spikes and downside continuation on both. See, I don't love that. One more liquidation under. Here's right there. See, 2 volume spikes and then a bigger volume spike on the continuation candle. So this would be the breakdown candle, and then this would be the continuation candle on heavier volume. So what I want to, if it's going to bounce, maybe one more liquidation under this low and then get right back above yesterday's low, then I will take a chance on the long. LPT finally rolling over, so if you're short LPT, just keep holding it. Just keep holding it. I like it lower. Remember, dominance is going up and LPT has a sell signal on the daily and weekly. That's why we wanted it for the short more than Fartcoin or anything else. And Bitcoin, we're currently watching to see if it's an actual long, but we're going to use the risk markets to determine that. So basically, if we can't close another 5-minute candle under 62.35 on the risk markets, as long as these things are off the lows, we can buy calls, because this fell short of tagging 10 points. So anybody that's short the VWAP right now, they think they're in good shape. If they were unable to take profits here, they think they're still in good shape. But I've seen this play out 1,000,000 times, where it acts like it's going to roll back over again, keep them in there, and pull in fresh shorts, and then rip. But if we close under this candle here, then it does look like it's wanting downside continuation. Okay, so Bitcoin's giving us a nice reaction here. It's already up to 400. Damn. I'm going to put it at 275. Limit buy on Bitcoin 275. 107, 275. And then I'm going to send a call option through on Tasty. The same strike, 62.35. Because if we close under it, I can always get out with a very minimal loss. All right, we got that fill. Now we're just seeing if we can get the fill on Bitcoin up here. I don't know that we will, but we're not going to chase it because it can still roll over. It doesn't mean anything. S&P just broke down right as I put in that. Right as I put that in. You bastard. Acted like it was going to hold support, and here it goes. Now it's going down there to fill the targets that were not filled. And Bitcoin also giving that fake out move to the upside. So the downside is looking okay. We should have stuck with that, but everything's bullish still. One day of bearishness does not equate a bearish day or a bearish momentum day. It's still just a pullback. But our LPT is doing the exact opposite. All right, just made fresh lows on the S&P 500. Let's see if it'll bounce from here. We still did not get the fill on... Oh, yeah, we did. We got the fill on Bitcoin. I got the fill. All right, let's see what happens. I don't like them. We'll see. The tech markets are just... All of it is so weak. As far as today goes, just today, everything is strong on a long time frame. That would be great if we couldn't even bat a 1-win trade today, huh? 0 for 3. Well, we didn't lose a trade last week. No, I take that back. We closed Fartcoin out because we were in profit the whole morning, and then like right as we were ending the stream, it had a big strong bounce right back up to our entry. But we were pretty much perfect last week. We've been going up for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 days straight up on ES and NASDAQ futures. Where are we at on gold? Gold just tested our level. So where are we at on the GLD? Why did I not get alerted? Because it hasn't went up to either alert yet. I don't know if I like the short on gold now that ES is stopping me out. I'm only down $11 on the ES short. It's not like a big... I'm not getting destroyed. See? Not bad. And it's making fresh daily lows. This is how you manage risk, right? Making fresh daily lows and I'm not getting killed. That's what we like to do. We like to manage risk. GLD would be a lot harder to manage risk because the option moves much faster. Pepsi's doing good. It's up $120. The original trade idea on Pepsi was potential to make $200, and the loss was around $100. So if it can continue to move up, this was our profit target, our first primary profit target. And then we were risking 123.54 on the trade. So it's actually looking good. We got a huge volume spike on Friday. And I'm assuming this was a lot of capital rotations, more than it was a lot of buying pressure. But I did tell the members yesterday that if we got a gap up and upside continuation, then this would probably signify a good, upside continuation, maybe. But since this week is a shortened week, being July the 4th, I assume this is a lot of capital rotations. People were fixing their portfolios Friday instead of doing it this week, because this week the liquidity is super thin. It just makes it a lot easier for them to get their fills when there's a lot of liquidity. So when the market is thinly traded, it's much harder to fill their positions. So this volume spike might not be upside continuation. We won't know until we've traded for a few more days to see. But Bitcoin is still, it's not like breaking down or anything. And then we're only down $1 on this. So we did get one 5-minute close under the candle that I did not want to see a close under. But if we can close back above it, then I'll still hang on to it, because clearly I'm not being threatened yet. But if you look down here at Apple, you are right now making fresh daily lows. That's not the greatest sign in the world. That music sounds like it's too loud. It's not the greatest look for upside continuation on the ES when you're making fresh daily lows on Apple. You got Microsoft over here, though, looking okay, right? It's looking okay. And then Nvidia is looking okay. Nvidia is trying to close 15-minute, 30-minute candle above the intraday VWAP. We want to see that. That would help our failing long on ES futures. LPT, are we rolling over yet? We're not rolling over yet, but we're still rejecting that 4-hour high. That's a bullish engulfing 4-hour candle, by the way. Just to let you know, on higher volume. So I kind of wanted to see it reject that, fall short of it, and then reject. It did not do that. So you have 1 hour 15 minutes left on this 4-hour candle. As of right now, it is a bullish engulfing. That's not a great look. So now moving forward on today, if you are holding this short, you're going to be paying attention to 6 spot 233. And essentially what you need to see is a 4-hour candle closure under that for your short to be in good shape. If this level acts as support today, intraday, like around 2, 3, or 4 o'clock, and then bounces, then you might want to close that short out. But there's still an hour left. This could still close as a bearish engulfing, which would be much better for the short, right? All right, Bitcoin is now breaking back down. So we want to see a liquidation under this low and a rejection. We did not get our close. Let me put you over there. We did not get our close on the ES. We wanted to see a 5-minute candle close back above 62.35. We did not get that. And then here is Bitcoin getting ready to liquidate the low of day. So we got to be careful here, because if we get downside continuation, it could rip to the downside. But if it fails here, or just liquidates and goes back up into the range, then this could just be one last let me get you before we rotate back to the upside. The 40% of your value area, I have this set on 40%. It just makes it a much more narrow version. This is still where most of the volume is traded today. Rejected price perfectly on that 5-hour wick, 5-minute wick. Right under value low of 40%. It's typically not a bullish signal, but the fact that it's struggling to break down could be a good thing, could not be a good thing. We'll see. Only time will tell. Want to see LPT roll over. Fartcoin is still trying to hold the 930 open. So I have a decision to make if we lose this, because I am holding a long on Fartcoin. I'm holding a short on Hype and a short on LPT. We want to see risk markets continue up for the rest of the day. But Apple is not only making fresh daily lows, it's literally getting downside continuation. It's looking for Friday's low, and it's about to get it. It just got it. You just got Friday's low on Apple. But look at Microsoft. It's actually advancing now, and Nvidia is advancing. If Nvidia is going to reject, I would want to see it reject pretty much right where it is. Right where it is. 157.48. If it's going to be a bearish day on Nvidia, 157.48 is where I'd want to see that rejection take place. See, Microsoft can go up a little bit more as it's right now liquidating all of the intraday shorts at the VWAP. See, right here is where your VWAP is, 496.67. So it just took out this downside candle. This is a 30-minute chart. So you've got a bullish engulfing 30-minute candle on Microsoft. There's 10 minutes and 40 seconds left on this 30-minute candle. But same scenario. If it's going to reject, I want to see it reject and get back under this. If it does, then this could be looking for lower prices today as well. And then I'll pull up Nvidia big like. Right here's your VWAP 157. So I want to see it reject this midpoint. This is your breakdown. I want to see it reject right here where it is, 157-ish. Bitcoin just made a fresh daily low. So I'm out of that. I'm out of that long for now. If it gets back above yesterday's low, then I can attack it again. I lost 25. It's 25% of what a normal position size would be. So if I was put on $200 as the position size, it was a $50 position. Not quite a full size. It's 1/4 of a full size position. This way I can let all the intraday games being played get done and then show me the actual way that it wants to go. At this point, being 10:50, we've been open for an hour and a half. There's a pretty good chance it wants to go lower. Let's see what we're getting on. Gosh, man, that's so close. What is the close on that? I can't see it. It's so close. I have to stretch this out. $22.30, $62.36, $62.36. So it's right on it, dead on it. Needs to go up a little bit more and then close back above that 62.35, because that's where my call is. So if it's closing back above 62.35, then my call is back in the money. I'm no longer losing on the position. But we do have Bitcoin literally breaking down, making fresh daily lows as we speak. That means Fartcoin is probably not far behind it, and LPT, the one we are short, is starting to break down here. This is a good sign. This is what we want to see. There's still a potential of 5% in this. So fresh daily lows would be good on this. And that's a 1.65% move to the downside just to make fresh lows. That's not counting any downside continuation. So I'm going to probably bounce from the Fartcoin position, since we not only closed this 5-minute candle back under the 930 open, we also took out this candle closure. And we're not seeing upside continuation on anything. Apple's making fresh daily lows. The Microsoft is currently rejecting the level we want to see it reject at, and Nvidia is also currently rejecting the level we want to see it reject at. And then last 15-minute period, we made fresh daily highs on the VIX. I'm going to take what little bit of profits I have on Fartcoin. If I can here. Something is going wrong. What are you doing? Well, that was botched because I lost the site. Lost the site. That Wi-Fi antenna really pissing me off, bro. Okay, so I'm gonna close this out, see if that helps, because this scanner is probably what's killing it. BMNR is still on the scanner. Damn. Wow. That thing is rocking and rolling. So your intraday Momo traders killed that. Crushed it. Crushed it. LPT looking good for downside continuation. SPX is undoubtedly in a bull market. If we get a normal pullback, what levels to buy the dip are you seeing? Probably the lower edge of the expected move, but if it gets down there to the lower edge of the expected move for this week, I would have to give it a little bit of caution because there's an unfilled gap down there. Right here. So this is your lower edge of your expected move for this week. So the options market is pricing in a $72 move for this week on the SPX. That's right here. So if it got down here and like could not break out, then maybe you could be a buyer at 61. But you have to be cautious being a buyer there because there is an unfilled gap just under, and that's your high month close. Now today is the close, so you're going to have a new high month close on the SPX. I mean, it would have to get all the way down there to 60.40 today for you not to have a new high month close, which is not going to happen more than likely. That would be a big candle. So yeah, maybe here, if that area acts as support. So 60.40 and 6100 would be the first two areas that I would watch. On the SPX. On the SPX. Well, I did get out of the fart coin position. It just took me a little bit more than I expected. A little bit longer. And obviously the Bitcoin trade is gone as well. So we're not seeing any movement back to the upside on the S&P, but I'm still holding it because we're not seeing a breakdown either. It's just kind of hanging around the low of day. On the cash market, your point of control is at 61.90, so people are going to be looking to sell again at 61.94. So it needs to clear that. If it could clear that, I think my call position will be okay. But the good news is it hasn't broken down and caused a significant loss yet. But it does look like it is trying to break down, for sure. I think Bitcoin needs a daily higher low before it breaks out. A daily higher low. It's already broke out. Like, it broke out yesterday. But the problem is today it's turning that into a trap. So people are going to sell it if they expect downside continuation. But maybe if you get a daily higher low tomorrow or the next day, maybe that ends up being your weekly low. I would say a good place to potentially look for support again on Bitcoin. Like, I'm not buying it as long as it's in between this and this down here, right? Because this is your old weekly res. And then the midpoint is much lower. Where would the midpoint be? Right here. Of this expansion candle is all the way down here. That's that old 3-day support level. So June's VWAP comes in before that. So I think the very next level to pay attention to for potential buys is going to be right here. Weekly res 105,784. LPT got rejected at Shift Pitchfork. I don't know how you're drawing that, so I don't have a Shift Pitchfork. We wanted to short LPT specifically because it was bearish, not because of a pitchfork or anything, just because it has a bearish weekly signal, bearish yearly, bearish monthly, bearish daily signals. So that's why we liked it lower today more than anything else, because everything else has bullish signals on the day, week, month, year. Exactly the opposite. That's why we wanted to short this one. I don't know about a Shift Pitchfork. You know what I mean? Like, maybe. I doubt that's the reason. I would say my reasoning is probably more sound. But I mean, anything can cause a rejection. If it works, it works. Everything works in trading. Just not all the time. Even my stuff don't work all the time. Nothing works all the time. We cannot predict what price will do. Making fresh, it looks like Apple's getting ready to plug a new low, so Tesla's actually above the VWAP, and Nvidia has not rolled over yet either. It's actually putting in higher highs here. Ooh. So it needs to reject here. If it starts closing up in this stuff up in here, then the short is probably no bueno on Nvidia. It needs to really start showing some weakness. I do like this volume spike right here. I do like that for downside. The volume still looks good for downside. But we could probably take an Nvidia scalp lower. I don't know, let me see. What's GLD doing real quick? Still pushing up. Maybe today's not the trade on GLD. Maybe it's tomorrow. I just don't want to short at this low. I'd rather it get close to gap fill than short, or reject the high month close and short. We're probably seeing XAU push. No, it's still struggling to push that June open. Dude, I'm not. Fartcoin still is not breaking down. What is going on here? We got hype breaking down. That's good because I shorted that. I shorted that right at the 4-hour high. So my short position on this is right about here. 40.22 on the week's platform, so a little bit lower, right in here. We got 55 minutes left on this. I would love to see it close under 39.54 and give us that bearish engulfing at resistance. That would look great. Fartcoin still holding 4-hour support. Not great. Look at this. Check, check, check. And we're seeing a little bit of divergence. But I mean, it's still super bearish, right? You're still very good, very far under the zero line. But notice how it's kind of, the volume has dried up to the downside for now. That's why we're not seeing it stretch out yet. Solana's actually pushing up. Bitcoin's making fresh daily lows. Thinkorswim is showing risk markets pushing back up. So let's check Bitcoin liquidity. Let's go check the liquid map. Not the heat map, just the map. Not really much right around. It looks like Bitcoin could still push lower. But if this is if aggressive buying comes in right in there, then it'll stop going lower. I'm not sure that I want to scalp the Nvidia short because we are not breaking down on risk. I've actually got the close I wanted to see now, so I'm not closing that long out just yet. Microsoft not really rejecting the VWAP either. I think enough time has gone by that if they wanted to reject intraday VWAP, they could have, right? Yeah, I mean, it just got upside continuation 15 minutes ago. So it looks like it's looking for the high of day. That would absolutely help that short or that long on ES futures. If Apple can stay off the daily lows at this point and Nvidia keeps pushing, I like the long on ES, but I absolutely hate the fact that it keeps rejecting this. And still hang on to it for just a little while longer. And Bitcoin, no, sorry. I'm looking at Bitcoin on this monitor, but this is the hype trade. It is not working. It's like not rejecting. I want to see that week open rejection there, as we set a weekly high. So if we're going to see downside continuation from weekly res rejection, and I want to see it. Barcoin's still not doing nothing. This is going to start looking like a support hold. But it's just a 4-hour support. We'll keep our eyes on Nvidia because if it rolls over, then the S&P might as well. And it's right at the place where it needs to roll over. And we're still, like I said, getting a volume spike there. That looks good, but we're not seeing a confirmation on the cumulative volume delta yet. If I get something that looks like this on the cumulative volume delta, right, then I could potentially buy a put and at the money 0 day, or not 0 day, but 3 day put on Nvidia and aim for like 156.25 for the take profit. We did get a spike on volume with hardly any upside continuation, but it's not a big spike. So I would say those are your sellers coming in there. I don't know if they've got the juice. And something else to take note of briefly. Over here, we've got ADD is failing to break below negative. This is your advanced decline line, your market watch. Like if you look at the index, go over here to the S&P 100, the 100 biggest stocks in the S&P 500. It shows you that you have 60 advancing and 42 declining. So that's more bullish than bearish. Not very much, as it's, pretty split. We look at the 500, it's going to be pretty split, but it's still a little bit more skewed to the upside. Still not getting that confirmation on Delta. There goes height rolling over. Fart should be rolling over. It is. You just made fresh lows on Fartcoin. Beautiful. LPT not rolling over yet. What the hell is going on with this thing? We got Bitcoin making it, just made fresh low of days. And this thing is down big already. What's Tesla doing? Still doing nothing. SPX rejecting. Rejecting the VWAP. Rejecting the VWAP hard. That's because we're getting that move on Nvidia. It came in too quick. I should have taken it. So there was the juice I said they didn't have. All right. So if we get the close, one more 5-minute close under, and I'm down. I'm gonna exit out of that. ES put 62.35 strike put. I'll close that down. What's Pepsi doing? Pepsi's it's going up. So where are we at on that? 138. Not where we need to be. But still looking good longer term. LPT, oh, read that. A lot of meshes retracted. What do you think about LPT? It keeps testing that same resistance. Yeah, I'm not loving it. I would like to see it reject, especially since we're seeing the weakness come in across other assets right now. Typically, these things trade a lot alike. Like, I mean, look at Fartcoin and Hype. They look identical. You're getting that downside expansion. You're getting your low of day break right now. And that's what we kind of want to see on LPT. Maybe because it's down more than the rest of them, it's struggling to go lower. I don't know. It obviously hasn't ran out of buy-side liquidity yet, or it would reprice lower. It's not repricing lower. Or maybe it's just not trading as thickly as it needs to be trading. There could be a number of reasons why it's not breaking down. It is the one that looks best for the short, as far as for today was concerned. That's why we were targeting that one. Like I said, everything works in trading, just not all the time. Oh, 157.24. There's a 157.50. But only on a retest of value high. The value area high. Value area high is 157.23. You got a big volume spike at 157.50. So a rejection in this area, I might be able to jump on a short here on Nvidia. Because I think this pretty much, I just don't want to get into a scenario like we saw the other day, right? Where it just doesn't do anything all day. Just bounces back and forth for the majority of the day. But I think we can close out of the ES. Yeah, we did get that 5-minute closure back under. So it's not getting downside or upside continuation. We'll just get out of it. No big deal. Taking a $10 loss on that. Let's see if it fills. We got LPT and hype shorts. The hype short is starting to pay a little bit now that it's actually getting downside continuation. And the volume looks good. That's the reason why LPT is struggling to break down right here. There is obviously some propping up going on here. Look at the volume signature on the point of control, the profile. Look at Fartcoin. Much different. The majority of the volume traded up here, and your point of control is here. Now price is trading away from it. It's the exact opposite on this one. This is why this one is struggling to break down. Every time it dips back into this big volume, it's popping back to the upside. So someone is propping it up. Somebody propping it up. That's why we're not seeing downside continuation. That doesn't mean that this short is not valid still. It might run up a little bit higher, maybe 645 or 650. We just need to see the sellers show up. Right now they're not able to outweigh the bid. The bid is propping it up. Cumulative volume delta says the same thing. You haven't been able to make new lows on volume. We'll see what it does. Bitcoin pushing, making fresh lows. We did get filled on that position on ES, so we're out of that. Nvidia is probably not going to give us that retest. And we're not seeing like elevated volume or anything like that. I mean, we did see elevated volume, and we got the turn, but I don't know if it's going to be enough to push us down to our target. And clearly, I don't want to enter the short now to chase the target. So we're just going to have to hold the hype and the LPT shorts and see what happens with those as the day goes on. Hype looks good. LPT struggling. So I should have flagged that volume signature before, but I just didn't. For whatever reason, it did not get my attention. There might be, let's see what's going on. There might be, this is why right here. Shit. Right here. You're coming back into the 50 on the daily time frame. Midpoint yesterday, 50 retest, 21 retest. That's why you're getting a shit ton of volume. That's why. That's who's propping it up. That's who. So if the sellers are heavier, we might still win this battle out. And this is also kind of good news, as if the sellers do show up and are able to force it through this, you might get a nice expansion run, right? Because so many people are propping it up based on that 21 EMA on the daily time frame. Weekly looks great for more downside. I still like it lower. It's going to take time to chew through all those buyers at the 21 exponential on the daily time frame. That's literally all it is. See, Bitcoin chewed right through them. Nope, it's not testing it yet. Where did I see? I thought it was right through the middle. Literally, it's the one. PSW, maybe. This thing's probably a goner. Going right back to daily support. Not gonna chase this though. Don't chase it. It's already gone. We should have done that a few days ago. You can see where we were looking for the short the other day. And pretty much prices held. So, I mean, this would have been a good day to look for the short. Yeah, LPT's also printed that 4-hour bullish candle. So that's also going to pull buyers in. There's 37 minutes left on this close. It's not looking like it's going to be able to put in that bearish engulf. So it's going more than likely to be a bullish engulfing. I mean, it's looking like that. 37 minutes left on this close. I mean, is it possible that we close this candle out back under 930 and then get that final 30-minute push? Yeah, it's possible. But they're running out of time. The sellers are running out of time if that's their move. Everything else looks great. And now you're starting to see a little bit of rejection down here. Not so much on Bitty Boy. Lost the yearly open on Amazon. That's okay. We're no longer in Amazon, so we can get rid of that. Hang on a second, though, because LPT still looks... I still like LPT lower. I'm not exiting my short. Apple lost support. It tried to hold it Friday and then it lost it. And that's after a recovery from Thursday. Damn. Dirty MFers. Microsoft holding support. This is why Nvidia is struggling to break down. But here, this would be the opportunity if you know how to manage risk on Nvidia. If you think it's going to break down, I would say it's the biggest move is done, right? It's already put in. This is probably going to be the low of day, high of day. I wouldn't doubt it if this thing doesn't chop around for the rest of the day. Remember, thin liquidity. It's a short week. Thin liquidity. So either you're going to see big ass moves or you're going to see very small moves. That's the one thing that sucks about holiday weeks. It's great for people that have full-time jobs. It's terrible for traders because liquidity dries up. Google had a nice downside move today. Rejection. Meta broke out fresh all-time highs today. Rejection. For now. We don't know that it's going to close as a rejection. Light volume. The king, Netflix, just still trading at all-time highs. This thing, man. Damn, what a buy that was back in 2023, huh? What a buy. Beautiful. This thing is trading $500 billion evaluation. It made $8 billion last year after taxes. How are they getting a $500 billion evaluation? So crazy. AMD rejecting the 2024 yearly opening range. I'd say AMD might be a buy on a retest of the year 2025 yearly opening range. There might be a level ahead of that. Not really seeing one. 130-ish, maybe. We can do this pretty much like what we're watching on Tesla right now. Waiting for that 2-week lick. A 2-week low lick. If it does it, I don't know that it will. I mean, it looks so good for a short still. Target 314.74. And ES is sideways AF. It's right back up to VWAP. So I wouldn't take that Nvidia short. Just because the way everything else is trading. And Bitcoin did much more than fill the gap. So you might want to be careful if you're still looking for Bitcoin shorts, because it's filled the weekend gap. That is an ugly looking daily candle, but still buyable as long as you're trading above this. So the quarterly Q2 is gonna look like it wants to wrap the day up lower. I'm really debating on that Tesla short. Just too just moves too fast. And LPT struggling. But I'd much rather it do this, because like I said, if it can continue, if it can make a lower low at least, let's see if it can do that. Uh-oh. We got buyers showing back up on the Bitcoin. What kind of news did we just get? 11:14. We haven't gotten any news. Looks like he just got done talking. So it should pop up soon. If there was any news. All of these things are starting to rip here. Look at Fartcoin. Damn, right off the lows. Big volume spike. Okay. We're going to take profits what we got on hype. We'll leave the LPT short on for now. My entry is much higher than your guys's this morning, obviously. I know that. I mean, you have to make a decision here. It didn't do what we wanted it to do. It should have broke down through here. That was my bad on the volume. I did not pay attention to where that daily 21 was, or I forgot about it and then saw the volume build up right at it. That was a really bad call. But my trade is still way in profits because I'm way up here on the short. But mine was taken yesterday. We took it yesterday up here. Oh, sorry, down here. Where did the monthly go? What happened? It got deleted. Deleted. Deletion. It's self-deleted. Yeah, right up there. That's where we short, or where I'm short from. So I still got plenty of room to operate in here. No news is popping up, so not sure what's going on there. And nothing new on the intraday or the penny stock Momo scanner. Still just BMNR. Look at that freaking thing. God. News on
And
this.
seeing the latest US bill data, US just sell 76 billion 6-month bills up and bid to cover 2.77. For 3-month bills, they sell 84 billion, high rate 4.235%, bid to cover 3.04 times.
Bitmine immersion text to place 55.6 million shares at 450. This is a buyout. It's up 534%. Is that a buyout? No, it's raising 250 million to private placement. Whatever. I mean, it's ripping, and nothing. There's literally nothing else popping up on that scanner. Do I still use Oanda? Yeah, I still have money on Oanda and Forex.com. Yep. I want to see if there's anything else on this scanner. This thing even rocking and rolling. I don't understand why this one didn't pop up, because it's not trading 5x. Oh, it didn't gap up 20% either. That's why it's not up there. Let's see percent gainers. Art. Why is art not on there? $297 million. It's not a low float. That's why it's not on there. GNLN. This one will be popping up soon. Yeah, 1.39 mil. Why ain't it on? It should be up on that scanner. That's so weird. It's up 105% on the day. And it did not pop up on my Momo scanner. It's all right. I can tighten it up. If you guys are in here, if you're a channel member or a Patreon, I just uploaded a video to give you the settings for that Momo scanner on Thinkorswim. It's on Patreon and for the channel members and in the Discord. If you use Thinkorswim and you want a Momo scanner for penny stocks. This one is not on there, so clearly I've got some more tweaking to do on it. I thought I had it set up perfectly, but this one should be on there because it's up 109%. It meets all the parameters. It's got... Oh, this is why it ain't right here. My scanner's set to do 10 million shares outstanding, but there's no minimum. There's a max of 10 million. It's up more than 10%. It's so weird. It should be on. It's not on. Oh, I don't know. And this is definitely 5 times more volume than was traded over here and all of these days. So everything, this should be on there. We should have got alerted on this one right around here. $4, $4.50 should have popped up. But you can see them, they're grinding it higher still. They still like it. This one's coming off now. And then, but I'm also running a percent scanner over here. This scanner up here is the percent change scanner. It popped up on this one, but it didn't pop up on this one. See, this right here, it's not showing anything here, but it's here. And it refreshes itself, so I shouldn't even have to hit scan. But for some reason, that GLN did not pop up. Oh, damn it. But this ain't even linked. I'll just type it in. Should have popped up. It's halted. So weird. Nothing's popping up on momentum now because what's it gonna call it's falling off. Yeah, this thing's halted. Be careful trading these things, man. These things are almost more dangerous than alts. Fartcoin running. Bitcoin running. So we're back above yesterday's low on Bitcoin. We're breaking above the VWAP on Microsoft is at Hive Day. Nvidia is blasting through that spot where we wanted to see it hold. So be careful, guys. Right, let's see here. All right, what are we gonna do? Let me go back here. Damn, that would have been so nice to catch that. This thing went down like almost 4% straight to give us a pullback. It kind of did, didn't it? Oof, I don't like that. Look at that volume down there. I wouldn't even, like, I don't know if you'll get a retest of that 106. This looks pretty momentous here. I'm just going to watch yesterday's low. If it can hold yesterday's low, Bitcoin, I'm going to get long again. But it has to hold it. It has to show me. Like, do you remember when Fartcoin was holding support down here and then it broke? Like that. If it can do something like that, I'll probably jump back in on Bitcoin. I'm not seeing any news other than the US Treasury, and I don't think that's going to affect Bitcoin. Bitcoin people just ran out. It's bullish, you know what I mean? Longer term, it's bullish. So buyers are they're gonna show up. And since LPT is not breaking down, if you're still holding the short, you might want to think about getting out of it because this thing can spike hard. So if you don't have any risk managed on it, at least put on your stops, please. At least put on your stops. Nvidia's back up to the intraday volatility bands. VIX back under yearly open. Back under yearly open. A lot of stuff going on here in the alt space. And we're about to have a 4-hour close here in 15 minutes. So it looks like you're going to get that bullish engulfing close. This just looks like a support test. Fartcoin trying to push up on a bullish engulfing close too. I should have just had that pulled up. We might have been able to catch some of that momentum. It's kind of late now to try to catch it. What in reality could we see still on Fartcoin though? Even if we were to be like crazy and be a buyer here? Not here, but like maybe a VWAP test. Or a 930 test, I could definitely be a buyer. That was a big rip. We got 4-hour res right here, so I'm definitely not buying it there. Absolutely not. And is there anything showing sellers coming in? Yeah, they are. Not as big right here. Let me make it darker so you can see it. That's the wrong one. There, and then you can see how far it's stretching out here. This is actually going to be the point of control, more or less, if it keeps doing this. Jesus. They just straight ripping. This one would be so dangerous to buy, but it also has that same volume signature, but there's no reason to buy this one, not on the daily. The EMA 21 is up above the daily open on this. And like I said, this has bearish momentum across the board. So this one wouldn't be as nowhere near as good. LPT, I still like it for the short. It's just getting sympathy from all the other alts that are spiking right now. Did we lose dominance? Yeah, that's the problem. We lost dominance. The dominance was going up today. We looked at it where? Over here. It literally lost dominance the whole time we've been sitting here talking. So yeah, I would probably get out of LPT. And we can look for some of these to find support. What's Solana look like? Oh my gosh, no, never mind, leave that alone. We should have bought that earlier when we were looking at it over here. What the fuck? What is going on here? What did Trump say? Did Trump say something? What's going on? I really don't care what the news is. That looks like pretty bullish news. The big beautiful bill to cut Bitcoin capital gains tax. That's literally what's going on here. So I'm not going to close out my short on whatchamacallit LPT, but I am going to probably look to get long again if I can get a pullback. If it holds the intraday VWAP, I'll look to be a buyer on FART. Bitcoin, as long as it's above yesterday's low, if it can hold yesterday's low as support, then I'll be a buyer on Bitcoin. And then looks like we're losing steam on Pepsi. That's okay. Pepsi is not a fast trading stock. It's a very slow mover. LPT rejecting that 4-hour high. So we'll see if what this does here. The ones that I like for bullish support tests would be Fartcoin because it's bullish, and I don't remember if Hype's bullish or not. Let's go see. I've looked at so many assets, my brain is on smoke. It's on fire. I mean, been up since 3 o'clock, and I've looked at so many assets. Can't remember. I got the CRS disease. Can't remember stuff. Very bullish on the daily. Not enough data on the weekly. It's up on the month huge. There is no yearly open. So yeah, Hype and Fart are both structured bullish, so if we get a support test, we could be a buyer. Could have just set the low of the week, guys. Literally, could have just done it. And it's okay to miss that low tick, clearly. Because it doesn't mean it's going to hold. This could still get sold into today. Does anybody have an asset that they think may be something to look at for a trade? Maybe tomorrow. Tomorrow before we go live, I will restart my computer before I go live. So that way hopefully we don't run into the same thing that we ran into earlier today. Because people were coming into the stream and then that stupid antenna lost it. Now, Hype is still trading below the volume weighted average price, so I don't love Hype as a long. I think Fartcoin is the best one as far as structure is concerned. We're still up on a year, up on the quarter, up on the month. Getting ready to come into that weekly open. You got a bullish engulfing, but you need a close above the high to make it a legit engulfing. It is going to be a bullish candle that engulfs the previous candle, but it's not going to be a great bullish engulfing signal. People love the engulfings to be up, close above or below the low, depending on whether it's bullish or bearish as far as the signal goes. LPT still down 4% on the day, so I'm loving that. Here's the week open on Hype. Do we chance a long there? I mean, it's awful risky to just buy this late in the day on a new spike. So risky. A little bit lower, 113, fart. Yeah, I don't really see something. I don't love it. Like, I'm not getting what I would like to see. $107,230 is what I'm looking for on Bitcoin. It needs to hold. Where's gold? And GLD. See if it can push. I mean, back to the downside, then we'll take the GLD short. What's US dollar doing today? It's making fresh daily lows, so shorting the gold trade, not a great idea. Everything looks good. I can't believe Nvidia Microsoft made a fresh high. That is crazy. Oh. Did it make fresh all-time high? It damn sure did. Microsoft just made a fresh all-time high today. Volume signature looks good on XAU. Maybe wait for a fresh high of day rejection. What we want to do if we do short XAU, we clearly want it to get back down to the June open and kind of start to reject that area. And if it does, you can short gold futes, or you can short GLD by buying a put, or you could just sell like out of the money GLD calls. Several different ways that can be traded. This big ass gap is so scary. I mean, I guess on a technical basis, that would really be gap fill there, wouldn't it?
Update from Punchbowl on the US fiscal subject. Notes that there is a House GOP wanting the Senate to their reconciliation bill in the wraparound amendment at the end of the vote. A Rama. We've further to the right, snap changes and attacks. This could be very tricky, but it's still a moving target in the House.
You're cutting in and out, bro. No, baby, I'm almost wrapping it up in here. I'm just looking around here because S&Ps are falling off a little bit.
About a minute and a half. We are looking out for the WASD data. Quarterly grain stocks for June in terms of wheat expected at 0.836 billion bushels. For corn, seen at 4.641 billion. Soy, 0.98 billion.
Nobody's trading corn or soy, boy. Yeah, we don't trade that. I don't trade that, but dollar making fresh lows. Let's go look at some Forex pairs real quick, and then we'll wrap it up since nobody's got anything else. We know what we're looking for on Bitcoin. We're looking for yesterday's low to hold intraday as support moving forward. That's all the way down here. And then on Fartcoin, it's going to be a little more tricky, as we haven't gotten a retest of the volume weighted average price, and you're right into 4-hour resistance. So it don't make sense to buy it. Not to me. I mean, I don't know that resistance is going to hold, and it's a bullish engulfing candle. Now for LPT, the one that we are still holding short, it's a bullish engulfing candle too, but it's not closing above that old 4-hour high, which is not necessarily a good sign for the short, but it's a better sign for the bullish trade. I mean, a better sign that maybe the sellers are able to hold it. But you got a daily, you have the daily 21 exponential that is currently propping up price.
For wheat, that's 0.851. That's above the expected. Corn, 4.64.
And volume is structured in a way that's showing us that. So we don't know that the short will end up working out. But if we do get a move through this big block of volume here, then it could absolutely help us get downside continuation. This one is the only one that has a short signal, LPT USD, and that's a short signal across the board on the higher time frames, right? It's the daily that is trying to hold support today. So if we don't get the breakdown today, then tomorrow we might. And if we don't get it tomorrow, then we just get out of the short, right? Because if it don't break down, then clearly we're on the wrong side of the trade. But yeah, that's what we're looking for on the alts. So they got time. I'm not chasing any of these things up here into resistance. I want to see clear and obvious support holding. Then I can potentially look for a long trade, as we do have a bearish engulfing day on Bitcoin. The daily open is all the way up here. So that might end up changing out the day, but you're going to have, the midpoint is going to be difficult resistance for Bitcoin to get above. Because right now the signal is to short it. Even though you got this, what looks like a very bullish momentous spike off the lows, remember, this is a bearish engulfing candle. You already put Sunday as a trap. We did fill the gap on futures, CME futures on Bitcoin. So maybe that's when the buyers decided to kick it up. But the sellers are going to be here at 107,740. You got value area high there, and that's the midpoint of the day. So that's where resistance will be on Bitcoin. But if it can hold support down here, then I can take that chance. And the same goes for Fartcoin. If it can hold support somewhere down in this area, I don't want to see it lose at 9:30 open. But if it's going to remain super bullish like it is right now, because this is already blasted through its midpoint. But it's not a bullish engulfing day either. This is an inside day. They're just mixed signals right now. But price will tell us what's going on, right? It will. It usually does. So we got time. We are not missing anything. We are not missing anything. So Forex. It's been choppy as of late. Looks like we're getting a move higher on Aussie yen. That's not what it looked like at the beginning of the market session. It actually looked like this morning there was a little bit of fear in there, and then straight up all morning. No fear in this market. None. Aussie yen will let you know when there's a risk off move. This is clearly not a risk off move. We traded back down to the 21 exponential on a daily time frame on Aussie yen and found support. So if we can break out today with a close above resistance, this is going to be the resistance candle, as it's the highest daily close inside of this consolidation area. Then we could potentially look for a daily support test tomorrow on Aussie yen. Right here. 94,486. Because it's the first time that it's breaking out, really. Like, I guess it did break out here, and you had 2 days of consolidation pullback up. So anybody that was shorting, they're going to be pretty good and stuck. So we could potentially see a move up to there anyway. There might be a better one to look at. Pound CAD, not loving it. It is above May's high. It's right at it right now. That's going to be here. I don't see anything there. I don't see anything there. Euro's just super strong because the dollar is super weak. That's all you got going on with Euro. Because everybody's short the dollar. It's a Fed cutting cycle. So they're pricing in that rate cut. That's another thing as far as bullish macros go. Let's do that real fast. And we'll end the stream on this. The macro. So down here you have your M2 money supply. This yellow line right here is global liquidity. Blue line, Bitcoin price. Line chart on a monthly time frame. You can see it is breaking out above this swing high. That is an all-time high month close. So on the line chart, Bitcoin looks good and primed, ready to go for upside continuation. All right. M2 money supply has been steadily moving higher all year. So is global liquidity. We discussed this yesterday. If you look where global liquidity peaked, and then we come over here to Jan 2023, because that's when the bullish market phase started for Bitcoin, right? Bitcoin has been very bullish since January 2023. This is why people are not super bullish on Bitcoin. A lot of people are saying, or some bigger channels and followers, social media are trying to tell people that we had 2 really good years. This year will not be as good, more than likely. It's just going to be choppy and sideways. Okay, but I can argue the difference. If you look at M2 money supply for 2023 and 2024, it barely drifted higher for both of those 2 years. And then global liquidity for both of those 2 years went lower. This is December 24. So all of 2023, you have had ascending global liquidity and ascending M2 money supply for all of 2025. All right. Look where we started cutting interest rates. In 2024, the Fed started its interest rate cutting or interest rate easing cycle. Bitcoin pops up right around the time we start to see the Fed hold. The Fed's been holding all year. Bitcoin has, in a sense, been trading sideways for the majority of the year, right? Pretty much. So when the Fed starts its cut again, starts to get back into the cutting or the easing part of the easing cycle, we could see Bitcoin start to really rip based on global liquidity, M2, and rate cuts. All right, we go over here and look at bond yields. Here's your 30-year, not really doing much. Here, let's get rid of this. We don't need this. We don't need that. I don't want this. So 30-year yield's not really doing much. But if we get down here to the closer to 2-year yields, they're rolling over. So here's your 2-year bonds. 2-year bonds looking good, moving up. That's what we expect to see in an easing cycle. Because if you compare this chart, not this chart, but the yields, if you compare the yields with the Fed cutting cycle or the Fed funds rate, you can see that this really closely follows each other. So for all of 2025, this is why I was so bullish on 2-year bonds. Not the yields, the bonds, the T-notes, right? We were looking longs on this because this is inverse to the yields. And it's went up. There for a long time, it didn't. And it looked like I was going to be wrong, especially since the 10-year is still at highs. But it's only a matter of time before these things start to roll over. And that's why Trump wants to fire Powell, because Trump thinks Powell is taking too much time to do these things, right? So if Powell doesn't start cutting soon, Powell's going to be out of a job, more than likely. And then they're going to hire someone a lot more dovish and put him in there. And, you know, rate cuts can absolutely help Bitcoin be propelled to the upside. So I honestly think that Q3 and H2 for 2025 could be really bullish for Bitcoin and stocks. Not sideways. Not sideways. The opposite of that, because we're about to start cuts again. We look over here at the CME Fed Watch tool. I have this set on December. There's only a 47.3% chance that we're down to 375. Current target rate, which where we are right now, is 425. If we did get down to 375, that would be 225 basis point rate cuts. I don't think we're going to see 375 by the end of the year. I think 400 is probably, I think we'll see that in September. Let me refresh the page. I think the markets are starting to price in a cut for September. We have a July the 30th meeting. They're pricing in an 80.9% chance the Fed does nothing next month. Then we come into September, and you can see the market is pricing in a 74.5% chance that they do a 25 basis point rate cut. That's why you're seeing Bitcoin start to find support and rally. I think this is the market pricing in that rate cut. We already have bullish signals on Bitcoin. We already have all the technical signals we need to be buyers. We just need to watch daily supports and whatnot. Now, I don't know if we've set the weekly low here, but it's a possibility. Because we know July is coming up. That starts Q3, and that also starts the second half of the year. So if we come over here and we look at this and go to 2022, let's just do 23. You can see that we are clearly lagging both the 2023 and 2024 cycles. Now, in July, Bitcoin in 2024, last year in July, Bitcoin made a fresh low. Then it chopped sideways for a little bit longer. Then we came into August where we had the yen carry trade unwind. So we had that dramatic drop on Bitcoin, but after that, it was pretty much done. Then it ripped on into the last half of the year, or the last quarter of the year. But what I'm trying to say is going into Q3 and the last half of 2025, Bitcoin is only up 14% on the year. So if people thought Bitcoin was worth buying only up, in 2024, it was up 41% at this time. And 2023, it was up 83% at this time. So year to date, it's only up 14%. Bitcoin is positioned nicely for investors to say, well, I'm not going to expect Bitcoin finish up on the year 100% or 150%. But if it gives us just half of that, it gives you a price target of 140. 140. That's what you can get. There's GLD crossing our first area to watch for the short. And one more chart. I just gotta find it. It's right here. So not saying to expect this, okay? I'm not saying this is going to happen. I'm just trying to give you a macro view from top down, what's going on across the board, barring China doesn't invade Taiwan, right? As long as that don't happen, if they're able to slow the Ukraine-Russian war down, they've already crushed the Israel-Iran conflict, the African conflict, both of those been dissolved. The market is literally in a very good spot to see a pretty epic rise here. So if we just finish up on the year 50% on the year with Bitcoin, you're looking at a price target of 140. And if something happens and it does get super bullish, because maybe the Fed cuts 3 times, I'm not saying that's going to happen. That's way out of the realm of even possibilities, more or less. But then there's no reason why 186 couldn't happen. While everybody is looking for a sideways to down move, right? It's like primed, ready to go. That's your top-down macro view. of what could potentially happen. So that's why we're looking for bullish trades on Bitcoin, because Bitcoin has given us a bullish signal. It's flipped from being bearish to bullish. And we typically want to be trading with momentum. And right now, momentum is to the upside. And July is usually a pretty good month for the ES. And when I find that chart, I'll show you. I got to find it. I don't have it right now, but I will find it and then I'll post it on Twitter. You guys have a fantastic... Oh, wait. Pendle. Let me see here. That bill, crypto in it with no capital gains tax is on US-based crypto. Yeah, that's cool. So no capital gains on Bitcoin. That would be fantastic. But they don't charge gains on credit either. So if you're in a good position where you can get credit, if they lower interest rates are a little bit up right now, right? You don't necessarily want to get credit with high interest rates. This is also a reason why Trump wants to lower the interest rates, because it makes capital free up, because people will go back into getting those loans. Rich people don't sell their assets. Rich people buy appreciating assets and then they get credit against their assets. That's what rich people do. Poor people sell their assets. Then they pay taxes on the gains. And you know what I mean? That's why rich people are able to get richer. They're just in a better place financially. They can afford to do stuff like that. Whereas poor people really can't. But, I mean, getting credit once the interest rates get lower is a better way to pay your yearly fees and your yearly bills. Use it, pay that on credit, and then use your assets as collateral, right? This way, if you do see an increase, a massive spike, you're still positioned to capitalize on that move higher. And you don't have to actually sell any of your appreciating assets to pay back the debt, as long as you have another revenue stream to pay the premium on the debt. ES falling off pretty good right now. Mexican miner industrial restarts operations at the Tizapa mine. That's not causing it. US quarterly gain stocks. I don't know, but it just lost the intraday VWAP. So we can see sideways the rest of the day on ES pretty much. We're going to pay attention to Bitcoin and whatnot. Pendle is showing weakness. Bearish engulfing on the daily. I don't know what Pendle is. Is it a ticker? Like, is it a crypto? Is it a stock? What is the ticker? Crypto cap. So it's going to be Pendle UST. Spot crypto DeFi. I want it the perpetual contract. And Michelle says, hi Heath, Bostic was speaking today, and Financial Justice said Fed's Bostic on expecting one cut this year. Yeah, that's what the market's pricing in. Like I said, that 2 cuts in December is only a 47.1%. That's not enough. Right? That's not enough. Because there's a 34% chance that we only are at 375 to 400, which is one rate cut. The market's pricing in one cut. The Fed said maybe 30 basis points. That's what the Fed said. Last time we had a Fed meeting, they said 30 basis points maybe. So we might not even get a 25 basis point cut in September. We might get a 10 or a 15 basis point cut in December. And then a 10 or 15 basis point cut in, September. Like you might get a 15 basis point cut and then another 15 basis point cut. Or just one 25 basis point cut. The market is pricing in one cut. You're correct, Michelle, for sure. Correct. Getting 2 would be super bullish. 3 would cause the roof to explode. All right, so here's Pendle. It's down on the year. So it's showing year. It's absolutely showing weakness on the year. Yep. Where are we at on the month? You're down on the month. Now, this is the last day of the month, and it's an inside month. So the next tomorrow or tonight at 8 p.m., you're going to get 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time tonight. You're going to get July 1 candles open tonight at 8. So that's going to be your Q3 open and your 6-month candle open. So that's going to be more important than June's open. Because now you'll be in July. You'll be in the second half of the year. We no longer will be in June. So June's open will not be as important as tonight's open will be. However, what is important is going to be June's low and May's low, because May's low, because June's low is so close. There's no point putting both lines up there. So we'll watch May's low. And the only reason is because of where it's currently trading. So where it closes is going to be important. Since you're an inside month, if you fib May's range to the upside, because it was an up candle, it opened, traded lower, then closed higher. So it's an up candle. So you fib from low to high in May. That'll give you the current range that price is trading in. Here is your weekly. Last week was an inside week. That means you could fib last week's range, the week before last. Mark that from high to low and mark that red. I typically like to do it opposite. I like to put weekly candle. So let's do it this way. We'll get rid of these 2 fibs. I'll fib the red week lower, but I want it to be white to tell me that it is the weekly. But I need to know that it's down. I can see that it's down. And then we can fib to the upside May's range. Here, we'll mark this as green because that's the current range we're trading in. This is range bound. Right now, this is a range bound market. So now that we know where we are, we can see what is going on, right? Right now, you do have a bearish engulfing daily almost. What is this low? 35061. This low is 35100. So this low is lower. No, this low is lower. Wait. Yeah, you're right. This is lower right here. So you do have an outside day, potential reversal here. Now, where is support potentially going to be? It's going to be right here, because this is a 786 retracement of May's range, and you're trading inside of May's range. You're red on the month for the month of June, but you're getting ready to close June out. Over here is May's low. You got really close to liquidating May's low in June, but did not do it. Right? Did not do it. So this is June's open. So let's see where the monthly VWAP is. Monthly volume weighted average price. We're under it. That's good. So on a yearly and quarterly and monthly basis, we're range bound, but the pressure is to the downside. Until you start closing dailies above this point, the pressure is to the downside. Now you're going to open up with a new one today, so you're going to have to start a new monthly VWAP, but you can leave the old monthly VWAP on until you get about 2 weeks into the monthly range. All right. 2 weeks into the monthly range, you can get rid of June's VWAP. It no longer matters because trading decisions are made on a second to second basis. People are buying and selling these markets based on technical reasons, based on macro reasons, based on all kinds of reasons. But to make this as objective as you possibly can to give you better trading decisions, you are trading as an inside candle. You're inside May's range, and until you take out May's low or May's high, then you need to treat it as a range. So we're not looking for major downside continuation because you're a range-bound market. Now, if it breaks down, we could ultimately target May's low, but it needs to break down first. This is a good indication that that's potentially happening. So what we'll do, I don't know how fast this thing moves. I don't know if it's like a super mover or not. I don't even know if I can trade this Pendle, but I will still finish analyzing for you. Yeah, I can trade it. It's only down 0.6%, so it's not a fast mover. Not a fast mover, but it's still okay. Right? It's still okay. Not a fast mover. That's okay. Not fast moving assets is actually better for new traders to trade. It's easier to manage your risk when an asset moves slowly. Much more difficult to manage risk when an asset's ripping all over the place. Okay, so there we are right there. So we know daily res is going to be $3.70. So we got our daily res there. The midpoint of the weekly range, that was the last weekly expansion. Okay? This was the last weekly expansion where you took out the low and got continuation. So this was your last trending candle. That's why you're fibbing this weekly candle's range. So as long as you're closing weeklies under the 786 retracement of this candle, then the pressure is still to the downside. Still to the downside. All right, good to know. We know that. We got that. Look at this. So this is a good sign right here. We traded from underneath the 50 on the weekly time frame. This is your momentum oscillator. This tells you who's in control of price on the near term. You traded back up to the 50 here and then rejected so far. We don't know that the rejection is going to continue. We can't see into the future, so we don't know what's going to happen, but this is tight analysis here. You're not going to get any better analysis than what I've already told you about Pendle. If you can find better analysis, let me know, because I'll listen to the guy too. But I don't want any objective stuff. Subjective stuff like trend lines and pitchforks and stuff like that. Anything that can be drawn subjectively, we don't care about. We want objectivity. We can make a trading decision based off of the fact that this asset is weak objectively. And it is going lower this week to start the week. So that is a good sign. The bears are in control. Wait, I was on the daily the whole time. Oh no, weekly and daily. Look at that. Look at that. We're right where it stopped. Look where it closed the day. Boom. Now, is this making a bear trap? Well, it's already made this a bull trap. That's already a trap because you've already taken out the low. So if you're going to see, this is a trending candle. It took out the low. It took out the high too, but then it immediately reversed and then took out the low. So where is the market going? It's going down. Order flow is bearish now. Now we look for an objective level to watch for resistance. That's what we look for. So for this, we go intraday. Intraday, the VWAP has been steadily causing prices to decline today, correct? Correct. All right, perfect. Now we have a big bullish spike here, and where it's currently trading is in the middle of the range. The range of from VWAP to low of day. That's your range. You're in the middle of it. So there's no trade to take here. Where's the trade? Here. Anywhere in this box is the trade. We want to see resistance come into play in this box. Somewhere in here. If we get that, if we get resistance in this box, then we can short the bejesus out of it. Now, does that mean we're going to make money on this trade? The answer is no. Right? We don't. We never know if we're going to make money, ever. You've got an intraday hourly supply zone here. That's a good level to watch. Boom. So if you trade up the 33 spot 5976, this is where you want to see the sellers show back up. Let's see what we got on volume. Okay, so the volume is down here, but this is a good sign here because there's a peak of volume here. And look where that volume peak is. Ladies and gentlemen, his name is Trade Talk. Woo, he's good. I told you that's where you wanted to look for the short before I found the volume. But the volume signature looks good as well. So this is your box to short in today if you get a retest. If you don't get a retest to this box today, then you have to wait for it to trade sideways for the rest of the day, right? And then tomorrow, you're going to look for the short in this area. And then you should get your move lower. If the sellers agree with my analysis. If the majority of the sellers agree with me, and they should, then this is the area you want to look for your short, maybe tomorrow. If you get up here and reject today, then look for it there today. But remember, today is the new quarter open. The new 6-month open. The new monthly open. You got 3 major high time frames opening tonight at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So I wouldn't make a move in the markets until then. Until then, at the open tonight, I will have my eyes glued to the monitor. Not for this one, but for other ones. Other ones that we've already analyzed. Like LPT, for instance. Right? It's not working yet. But my little measly paltry $200 of profit. Ooh, I didn't mean to do that. My little measly $200 of unrealized gains, if I'm correct, and my analysis is correct, and the sellers show up, will get much, much bigger as time goes on. But that's the big question right there. That's the one thing we never can know is, are the sellers going to show up? Or do they want to buy it? Like, that's what makes a market. That's the reason no one can ever know what price is going to do. And also the crypto market is unregulated. So all of the market manipulation that people complain about in the normal markets that are regulated, that market manipulation rarely happens in, does happen in crypto. You do get order spoofs. You do get all of the manipulation that you can think of. You do have liquidity providers trading by themselves in these assets. You do have all that because it's an unregulated market. So just because of what I've said here today does not mean you will make money, but it does make the analysis at least as objective as it can be. And that, my friend, will give you an edge. I promise you that. All right? So that's what you need to watch on Pendle for shorts. If not today, maybe tomorrow. I'll put it on the list because we're going to go live tomorrow. Tomorrow, I promise, I'll restart my computer. My computer's not old. It's not beat up. It's the antenna. There's a glitch. There's a bug in the antenna on a patch or something. It's been glitching out lately. The computer's good. The computer is a powerful system. It can handle every program I have up, but my internet isn't the greatest, and that antenna isn't the greatest. So that's where we find the trouble. That's the reason I haven't been live streaming every single day for the last 3 years, is the internet. But the internet's been really good since the beginning of this year, so I can live stream every single day. I have no problem with it because I'm here every single day watching the markets. So I have no trouble with it. So as long as everything works out again, we'll watch Pendle tomorrow. We'll see what it does. Because if it does, since I can trade it on weeks. Oh, shit. I'll fix the chart back up because everything I said applies in my analysis every single day. So I'll fix it, but I do want to add it on watch for tomorrow. Because you're right, this one is weaker than the others, right? So if we're going to be on the opposite side of the normal markets, because all the markets are technically bullish right now, looking for shorts does not make sense. It makes more sense looking for longs. So on the inherent strong assets, we want to be looking for bullish trades, and on those that are weak, even though the market is strong, those are the ones we want to short. And Pendle is weak. It is down on the year, down on the month, down on the week, down on the day. You know what I mean? It's weak. However you look at it, it's weak. Oh, Week said it was down 0.6%. This Trading View says it's down 4.5%. So Pendle does move. I take back what I said about it. I said it isn't a fast mover. It is. It's down 4.5% today. That's a fast mover. That is definitely something we can trade. So yeah, it's on watch. It is on watch for tomorrow. So keep your eyes peeled on it tonight at 8 o'clock. And then if it doesn't do anything, when we come into the session tomorrow, it will be one of our favorites to look for that short. And since we're getting into it, like literally at the quarter and second half open, it could end up being a really good trade for us. We'll find out tomorrow. So make sure you guys come back tomorrow, and we'll see you then. I think today's pretty much cashed. I don't think you're going to see much of anything today. And it does kind of suck that it is a short week, so the liquidity is a little bit thin. But sometimes that actually works out better for us because we get outsized moves through thin liquidity if we just pick the perfect asset. And we generally are on the best ones to be on looking for positions, right? You guys have a fantastic rest of your day. Make sure you guys trade safe. Make sure you trade smart. And as always, happy trading, everybody.